Welcome back to the Denver Stock Lab. I am so glad you're here. If this is your first time joining us, you have picked the perfect place to start. This series, Stock 101, is designed specifically for the complete beginner. I'm talking to the person who has never opened a brokerage account, never bought a single share of a company, and maybe feels a little intimidated by all the shouting and complex charts you see on the financial news. You do not need a finance degree to be a great investor. You don't even need to be good at math. You just need curiosity and a little bit of patience. Last week, in Episode 3, we took a deep dive into the PE ratio and learned how to figure out if a stock price is actually expensive or cheap relative to its earnings. Today, we are going one step deeper into the engine room of a business. We are going to answer one of the most fundamental questions you can ask about any company. Is your favorite company actually making money, or is it just spending a massive fortune to look like it is? Think about the brands you use every day. Maybe you love your iPhone, you wear Nike shoes, or you use a computer powered by NVIDIA chips. You see these companies everywhere, and you see their products flying off the shelves. It's easy to assume that because a company is selling a lot of stuff, they must be wildly successful. But in the world of investing, selling stuff and keeping the money are two very different things. In this episode, we are going to break down the two most important numbers on any company's report card, revenue and profit. By the time we finish today, you're going to understand exactly what people mean when they talk about the top line and the bottom line. We're going to walk through how to calculate these numbers. We're going to look at the real-world financial performance of NVIDIA, the giant of the AI world, to see how they stack up. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to avoid the high-growth revenue trap that catches so many beginner investors off guard. By the end of this video, you won't just be looking at a stock price and guessing. You'll be able to look at a company's financial statement and tell within 30 seconds if that business is a well-oiled machine or a leaky bucket. You're going to have the confidence to look past the hype and see the actual truth of the business. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Let's start with the absolute basics. When you hear people talking about a company's revenue, what are they actually saying? Revenue is simply the total amount of money a company brings in from selling its products or services before a single penny of expenses is taken out. In the world of finance, we often call this the top line. Why? Because if you look at a company's income statement, which is just a fancy term for a document that lists a company's income and expenses, revenue is the very first number you see at the top of the page. To make this stick, let's use an analogy we can all relate to. Imagine you decide to spend your Saturday running a lemonade stand on your front lawn. You buy some lemons, some sugar, and a stack of paper cups. You set your price at $1 per cup. By the end of the day, you've been incredibly busy, and you've sold exactly 100 cups of lemonade. At the end of the day, you look into your cash jar and you see $100 bills staring back at you. That $100 is your revenue. It is the raw total of your sales. The formula for this is very simple. Total units sold multiplied by the sales price equals revenue. In our case, 100 cups times $1 equals $100 in revenue. Now, here is the mistake a lot of people make when they first start looking at stocks. They see that $100 and they think, wow, I made $100 today. But you didn't actually make $100, did you? Because that money in the jar isn't yours to keep yet. You have to account for the cost of goods sold. That's a technical term for the direct costs involved in making what you sold. Before you can celebrate, you have to pay yourself back for the $10 you spent on lemons, the $5 you spent on sugar, and the $5 you spent on those paper cups. That's $20 in costs. Once you pay those costs, you're left with $80. But wait, there's more. Did you have to pay your younger brother $5 to stand on the corner with a sign to bring in customers? That's an operating expense. Did you have to pay a permit fee to the city to run your stand? That's like a tax. After you pay for the lemons, the sugar, the cups, the advertising, and the taxes, what is left over in your pocket at the very end is your profit. In the stock market, we call this net income, or more commonly, the bottom line. It's called the bottom line because it is the final number at the very bottom of that same income statement. It is the pure money that the company actually gets to keep or give back to its shareholders. Let's define those terms one more time so they are crystal clear. Revenue is the top line. It's the total sales. Profit, or net income, is the bottom line. It's what is left after every single bill has been paid. Why does this distinction matter so much? Because a company can have billions of dollars in revenue and still be losing money every single day. Imagine a different lemonade stand down the street. They sell 200 cups of lemonade at $1 each. Their revenue is $200, double yours. You might think they are twice as successful. But what if they are buying organic, hand-squeezed lemons that cost them $2 per cup? They are bringing in $200 in revenue, but it's costing them $400 to make the product. They are losing $200 even though their top line looks amazing. This happens in the real world all the time. There are massive companies that you hear about in the news every day that have huge revenue, but have never made a single penny in profit. As an investor, you need to know which one you are buying. Are you buying a company that is great at selling things, or a company that is great at making money? Ideally, you want both. You want a company that is growing its revenue because that shows people love the product, but you also want to see that revenue turning into a healthy bottom line. Now that we have the concepts down, let's look at a real-world example that everyone is talking about right now. NVIDIA or NVIDIA. If you've been following the news at all, you know that NVIDIA is the king of the artificial intelligence revolution. They make the powerful chips, called GPUs, that allow computers to think and process massive amounts of data. When we look at NVIDIA's financial reports from the last year, the numbers are almost hard to believe. Let's walk through them step by step so you can see how to analyze them yourself. In a recent fiscal year, NVIDIA reported revenue of about $60 billion. That is their top line. That means they sold $60 billion worth of chips and software to companies like Google, Microsoft, and Meta. 60 billion is a massive number. It tells us one very important thing immediately. The demand for their product is sky high. High revenue is the ultimate proof of product market fit. It means the world wants what you are selling. If revenue was shrinking, we would be worried that the company was becoming irrelevant. But for NVIDIA, revenue has been exploding. However, we can't stop there. We have to look at the bottom line. Out of that $60 billion in revenue, how much did NVIDIA actually keep as profit? After they paid for the silicon to make the chips, the salaries of their brilliant engineers, the electricity for their massive offices, and their taxes to the government, NVIDIA was left with a net income of roughly $30 billion. Let's pause and think about that. They brought in $60 billion and kept $30 billion. That is a 50% profit margin. To put that in perspective, imagine our lemonade stand again. If you sold a cup for $1 and you got to keep 50 cents as pure profit after paying for everything, you would be the most successful lemonade stand in the history of the neighborhood. Most businesses are lucky to keep 10 or 15 cents out of every dollar. When we compare NVIDIA to some of its peers, the picture becomes even clearer. Let's look at a company like Intel. For a long time, Intel was the king of chips. Intel also has huge revenue, often in the range of $50 or $60 billion, similar to NVIDIA. But when you look at Intel's bottom line, the profit is often much, much lower. Sometimes it's only a few $billion, or in some tough years, they might even show a loss. This comparison is the aha moment for a beginner investor. Both companies have huge top lines. Both companies are selling billions of dollars worth of products. But NVIDIA is a well-oiled machine. They are able to produce their products and run their business so efficiently that a massive chunk of every dollar they earn falls straight to the bottom line. Intel, on the other hand, has much higher expenses. They have to spend a lot more money on factories and manufacturing just to make their sales. When you are looking at these numbers on a site like Yahoo Finance or Google Finance, here is how you do the calculation yourself. You take the net income, the bottom number, and divide it by the revenue, the top number. For NVIDIA, 30 divided by 60 equals 0.5 or 50%. This tells you the net profit margin. Why does this matter to you, the investor? Because the bottom line is what actually belongs to the shareholders. When a company has a high profit margin like NVIDIA, they have a lot of options. They can use that $30 billion to invent new chips. They can buy other companies, or they can pay that money out to people who own the stock. A company with high revenue but low profit has no cushion. If the economy slows down just a little bit, that low-profit company might start losing money, while a company like NVIDIA still has plenty of room to breathe. Seeing these numbers in black and white takes the guesswork out of investing. You aren't just betting on a cool AI company. You are looking at the data and seeing that NVIDIA is not just a sales powerhouse, but a profit machine. High revenue proves people want the product, but high profit proves the company is managed brilliantly. Now, I want to warn you about a very common trap that almost every beginner falls into at some point. I call it the growth mirage. It is the mistake of assuming that massive sales growth always equals success. Let me tell you a story about a fictional investor named Sarah. Sarah is excited to start investing, and she hears about a new electric scooter company called Zipgo. She sees Zipgo scooters all over her city. She reads a headline that says Zipgo's revenue grew by 500% last year. That sounds incredible, right? 500% growth. Sarah thinks, if I don't buy this stock now, I'm going to miss out on the next big thing. She buys the stock, and then 6 months later, the company goes bankrupt. What happened? Sarah only looked at the top line. She saw the 500% revenue growth and assumed the company was winning. But if she had looked at the bottom line, she would have seen that for every $1 Zipgo brought in from scooter rentals, they were spending $2 on repairs, charging, and insurance. They were growing their sales, but they were also growing their losses. The more scooters they put on the street, the faster they were losing money. This is the revenue trap. In the startup world and the tech world, companies often prioritize growth at all costs. They spend millions on advertising and discounts just to get people to use their product. This makes their revenue look like a rocket ship. But as an investor, you have to ask, is there a path to profit? The right approach is to look at the relationship between the top line and the bottom line over time. Here is your checklist for avoiding the trap. First, check the revenue growth. Is the business expanding? If revenue is flat or shrinking, the company might be dying. Second, compare that growth to the net income. Is the profit growing at least as fast as the revenue? If a company's revenue grows by 20%, but their profit grows by 30%, that is a fantastic sign. It means the company is becoming more operationally efficient. They are learning how to make more money without spending proportionally more on expenses. They are getting operating leverage. On the other hand, if revenue grows by 20% but profit stays flat, you need to ask why. Why is it costing them so much more to get those new sales? The third step is industry benchmarking. You can't look at a company's numbers in a vacuum. You have to compare them to their direct competitors. For example, if you are looking at NVIDIA, you should also look at AMD. If AMD has a profit margin of 10% and NVIDIA has a profit margin of 50%, that tells you NVIDIA has a massive competitive advantage. They have pricing power. They can charge more for their products because people think they are better and they are more efficient at making them. Always remember, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. It's very easy for a CEO to stand on a stage and talk about how they have millions of customers and billions in sales. It's much harder to actually run a business that keeps a large portion of that money. Don't be like Sarah. Don't let a flashy revenue growth number blind you to a bleeding bottom line. The best companies in the world are those that can grow their sales while simultaneously becoming more profitable. That is the Goldilocks zone for investors. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let's wrap this up with the 3 key takeaways you should carry with you. First, revenue is the top line. It is the total amount of money coming in the door from sales. It is the first indicator of whether a company's products are actually in demand. If the top line isn't growing, the company usually isn't growing. Second, profit, or net income, is the bottom line. This is the money that is left over after every single expense, from raw materials to taxes, has been paid. This is the money that actually matters to you as a shareholder. A company can have all the revenue in the world, but if it doesn't have profit, it cannot sustain itself forever. Third, always look at the margin. Divide the profit by the revenue to see what percentage the company gets to keep. Compare this number to competitors and look at how it changes over time. A rising profit margin is one of the most beautiful sights an investor can see. One important reminder before you go, everything on Denver Stock Lab is for educational purposes only. Investing is a deeply personal decision. Your goals, your timeline, and your risk tolerance are unique to you. We use companies like NVIDIA as examples to help you learn the concepts, but that doesn't mean you should go out and buy them today without doing your own research. Use what you learn here to study harder, ask smarter questions, and then make your own informed decisions. The work is yours to do, and that work is absolutely worth it. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps a small channel like ours reach more people who are just starting their journey. And if you want to keep building your investing foundation, make sure to subscribe to Denver Stock Lab. We do weekly market analysis, and we have many more episodes of Stock 101 coming your way. In the next episode, we're going to talk about the balance sheet, the place where we find out if a company is drowning in debt or sitting on a mountain of cash. You won't want to miss it. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I'll see you in the next one.